off their 5-game road trip, head back east, and find a way to beat the Philadelphia Flyers. And that's really been the theme of this season, is them finding ways to win. They improved to 25-10-4. This wasn't a pretty game by any means against the Flyers team that has been struggling. It's been a really bad year for Philadelphia, but the Rangers were opportunistic when they had to be and have really been getting production from that top line with Mika Zibanejad. It's really amazing how he, for a large portion of the season, was looking really underwhelming. And it's somewhat similar to last season where he started off slow and then just went on a tear. And that's kind of happening now, where somehow he finds a way to really balance it out and some, as now he's up to 14 goals in the season, where for a while it seemed like he was stuck on like 3 or 4 goals with, at least 20 games into it. So now the Rangers have really come away with a 3-2 road trip, which is decent. They split the games out west. They win this one. And now you can basically have a nice rest, as they don't play until Wednesday, and they'll get players back from COVID. In this one, Gerard Gallant returned, as well as Ryan Reeves and Julien Gauthier. So unfortunately, Anthony Greco, who had a really nice game against San Jose, he was sent to the taxi squad. And Johnny Brodzinski was out of the lineup as well. So they kept in Tim Gettinger, kept in Morgan Barron, kept Greg McKegg as Reeves and Gauthier entered the lineup. And Braden Schneider, of course, stayed in, as you'd expect after his really, really good first game of his NHL career. Didn't really, minutes-wise, it was a bit sheltered. He was out for a little bit in the first period as a puck hit him in the face. And so I think he got stitched up. But he, he played less than 13 minutes, which, is not nothing. But, compared to Patrick Nemeth, who was his defensive partner, Nemeth played significantly more than he did. So it seemed like they were rolling with 5 defensemen for the most part. But the Rangers have really just excelled greatly on the power play and penalty kill. And that was the case again tonight, as Mika Zibanejad scores just a amazing one-time slap shot on a feed from Adam Fox. Panarin gets the other assist. And what the Rangers did, which made a lot of sense, was they had Zibanejad on the left side. So in the San Jose game, you saw Panarin there, but Zibanejad, while he's going well, and when you think about Mika, he has a dangerous shot from that left side, and it makes more sense. Panarin he's more of a passer, so that was a good switch by the coaching staff, and it worked out. So Zibanejad gives the Rangers a 1-0 lead. But it was just one of those games where it was honestly pretty even for most of it. And the Rangers got off to a pretty good start, but then it was a turnover that kind of changed the momentum of that period. And it was a pass by Ryan Strome, not a great pass in the neutral zone, where Philip Chytil couldn't corral it. And the Flyers go the other way. And eventually it's a goal by Oscar Lindblom, ties it up for the Flyers at 11:45 of the first period. And that's a line that we'll talk about. They do redeem themselves, but for good stretches of this game, I wasn't loving what I saw. I think Ryan Strome's game in particular has really been weak, where he actually was playing better without Panarin, which is kind of ironic. And then ever since Panarin's come back, I feel like Strome's game has suffered. But Panarin, it was a step in the right direction in this one. Definitely a bit more jump. I don't think it's peak Panarin, but it's better than the games against the Kings and the Sharks. So that goal definitely did swing the momentum in the Flyers' direction. And then in the second period, the Rangers played better. It was a scoreless period, but it was a much better one for the Rangers. Greg McKegg drew a penalty, and this was actually a pretty good game for McKegg. I thought that it was a pretty good defensive game. Is he someone that I want to line up regularly? No, but give him credit for a guy that normally doesn't get it. So Rangers don't score on that power play. And then Keandre Miller gets a holding penalty, and the Rangers do kill it off. Keandre Miller's game lately, again, there's been those mistakes. I haven't loved what I've seen from him. You can tolerate it, but I think that Miller-Trouba pair, more so Miller. Trouba's been pretty steady for the most part, but Miller his play has dipped just a bit, and you want to see some improvement there. And I think that was part of the reason why Patrick Nemeth. I think what you were seeing was Schneider wasn't playing, and then Miller's minutes were kind of cut as well, and you were seeing Nemeth play with Trouba towards the end of the game. But it's 1-1 going to the third. The Rangers, they have not lost regulation when tied going to the third. It was something like either 10-0-1 or 11-0-1 heading into this game, which is just remarkable and improved somehow. And I thought the third period was actually the Flyers came out pretty strong, and they would score. It would be Cam York with the goal, and that would be Cam York's first National Hockey League goal. So that's another player who we saw early in the year, players get their first NHL goal against the Rangers. It happens again. Not a great goal by Shesterkin, but you can't, on the whole, you can't blame him. He's been maybe the biggest reason why the Rangers have had, overall success this year. But a bit of a weak goal. And on that one, it's Ryan Reeves had a chance to clear that out, to at least, give the Rangers possession of the puck. I still believe that Ryan Reeves is someone that should not be playing every single night. Like in this situation, it makes sense, right? I mean, no Lafreniere, no Goodrow, but I really feel as if he is more of a borderline 12 forward 13. Like same with Gauthier for different reasons, right? Like I feel like Reeves and Gauthier, depending on what type of look you want to give, they can be interchangeable. I don't think those are guys that are on a good playoff hockey team. I don't know if they're starting every single night. So Ryan Reeves, while I like what he brings, and while he's not like a complete no-show, he does have some ability and can help. I think it's something to think about as the season progresses. But so the Rangers are down 2-1, and the response from the Rangers this season has been fantastic. That's what I've noticed from this team in particular, where they'll give up a goal and then immediately they'll come right back. That's happened quite a bit, and that's the sign of maybe not a good team, but just a well-coached team and a team that a highly motivated team and one that knows what they need to do. And Philip Chytil is the one that scores. Really, and this was redemption as Chytil scores from Panarin and Strome. That made up for that first goal. And Chytil, someone who has been a bit frustrating. We've seen some more points lately and some more skill from him with mistakes as well. I wish Chytil would show a little bit more physicality, but maybe Philip Chytil on the wing is something that we need to seriously consider. Maybe and honestly, the way he plays, it is more of a wing. So I think that him, playing with Panarin and Strome has shown that, and he's definitely playing with much better players than he's used to. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Lafreniere comes back. More so, I guess, when Goodrow comes back. Do they maybe give Chytil a chance and see how that plays with Panarin and Strome? I don't think it'll work long term, but it's worth at least giving him a shot on the wing, and probably more likely the right wing because the Rangers have more of a hole there. So the Rangers tied up at 2, and then a few minutes later, and someone who I haven't mentioned, I should, but he's just so good normally that I don't even need to. Adam Fox throws a puck on the net, and who deflects it? Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider, his 24th goal of the season. This is Chris Kreider's best season of his career. And this is someone who's been in the league. We first saw him in the 2012 playoffs. So it's almost been a decade, a little bit less than that. But I think we can easily say, and he's just been consistent. There haven't been those ebbs and flows. He has been, motivated the whole way, been a leader on the ice for sure. And Kakko gets an assist there as well. So Kakko, who, is more, of the defensively responsible on that line, Zibanejad and Kreider definitely more flashy, definitely more, getting more points. But Kakko gets an assist there. And Fox gets 2 assists. He had the primary assist on the Zibanejad goal, and he threw the puck on net. And Kreider just is so good in front of the net of getting that stick there, and it makes it 3-2. It was a scary moment. I'm not sure which Flyer it was, but a Flyer shot a puck. It must have been from around center ice. It was from far out, and it took a weird hop, and it actually went off of the post past Shesterkin, but luckily it didn't go in. So scary moment there, freak play that almost, was a nightmare for the Rangers, but luckily it wasn't. And then the Rangers were able to finish it off. The Flyers did have good puck possession. They had control of the puck on the 6-on-5, but they were able to shut it down. And so the Rangers win it by a score of 3-2 against the Flyers. And again, it's really in this Eastern Conference playoff picture. Yes, we haven't reached the halfway point yet, and a lot can change, but the 8 teams are really solidifying themselves. In the Metropolitan Division, you got Carolina, the Rangers, Washington, and Pittsburgh. And then in the Atlantic, you have Florida, Tampa, Toronto, and Boston. I don't think that those teams are going to be caught. I've said, the Islanders are a team that you have to watch out for, but I think as time goes on, it probably doesn't happen. They have a major hill to climb, and just offensively, it's just not there for them. So I think that the 8 teams you see now are likely the 8 teams you'll see come playoff time. And the Rangers got to keep on winning, keep on racking up points, making it as comfortable for them as possible, and we'll see what happens. But the Rangers, like I said, improved to 25-10-4. They come home, and it'll be a very interesting test against a really good Toronto Maple Leaf team. Those were very difficult games in Toronto, one of which the Rangers won in overtime, and another in which they lost in regulation, but they gave it a pretty good effort. So those were that was the second game. The one they lost, they actually played better. So this will be a really good measuring stick against a very good Maple Leaf team. So I'm curious to see how they do there. So it'll be nice to see the Rangers finally come home and play at the Garden.